It's true. They could win against Notre Dame and lose against Florida.
That's right.
This is Eddie George. Scraping through for a first down. So he becomes the workhorse. And you've got a half a minute to play. And the crowd whooping it up as Ohio State is marching toward their 8th consecutive win. The 9-0 in the conference. And it's amazing how much smarter John Cooper is this year than he was last year.
Isn't it though?
Until next week, at least. Yes. Now it's a matter of just letting the clock wind down. This one will go in the books. This will do it. The game is over. The Chevrolet most valuable players. Raymond Harris for Ohio State. $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund. Keith Jackson, Bob Greasy, and Lynn Swan. We hope you've enjoyed it as ABC Sports brought you one of the big ones of the Big Ten. Won by the Ohio State Buckeyes over Penn State 24-6.
When you can't be at the game, the next best thing is hearing the game on the voice of the Buckeyes, B97 and 1460 WBNS.
No doubt about it, this team is for real, and I think we can start talking roses, can't we?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll start talking roses, but I will tell you this, they are for real.
Yeah.
It's really a shame because they have a couple of tough games before we can start talking roses, but we will be soon. A lot of folks around the country, some of the even so-called experts, were calling for Penn State to win the Big Ten this year, their first year playing in the league. Then Michigan goes to Happy Valley, and suddenly Joe Paterno says, hey, wait a minute, this Big Ten stuff is tougher than I thought it would be. Tonight, he's probably thinking, it's even tougher yet. Joe Paterno was able to do something no other team has done against the Bucs all season. Take the lead. Kajana Carter, 123 yards, 9 yards on that run. It sets up Penn State's opening drive field goal that Craig Fayak barely banks in from 29 yards, 3-0 Penn State. But the Bucs didn't trail for long. Ohio State is now 8 of 8 on opening drives. Raymond Harris with the touchdown. He goes for 151 yards on the day. Bucs led 7-6 after one. Second quarter now, and John Cooper's Buckeyes are ready to extend their lead. Tim Williams, who's having an excellent season, comes on and connects from 22 yards out. Ohio State 10, Penn State 6. Then in comes Brett Powers, and as he's done all season long, he answers the call. He takes the Bucs the length of the field on his first drive and caps it off with his 25-yard beauty to Joey Galloway. Bucs stretch their lead to 11, 17-6. Then the defense. Kerry Collins to throw, but he's way short. Tim Walton is there for the interception. Ohio State led 17-6 at the break. And Ohio State kept the momentum in the second half. Their opening drive was a thing of beauty. All running plays, most of the yardage coming on Raymond Harris runs. The offensive line blew Penn State away. Butler Benote caps the drive, winning the race to the corner. 4 yards on the score, 24-7 Bucs. Penn State would move the football, but the Bucs would bend and not break. Marlon Kerner whistled for the questionable pass interference call, but the Ohio State defense still comes up big. First, Lorenzo Stiles stops Kajana Carter. Then Penn State will try for 3, and there's Marlon Kerner making up for his earlier foul by blocking Fayak's field goal attempt. 24-6 Buckeyes as we head for the fourth. Early fourth quarter, Penn State drives it deep again, but again the OSU defense comes up big. Walter Taylor forces the fumble. Craig Powell swallows up the football. Joe Paterno can't bear to see anymore. But wait, Joe, there's more. Late fourth, Collins to throw, and there's Walter Taylor for his second interception of the day. Collins had been picked off 3 times all year. State got him 4 times today alone. The offense and defense both look marvelous. Ohio State 24, Penn State 6. The Buckeyes are 8-0.
Am I satisfied? I'm satisfied to be 8-0. I mean, obviously, we'll find something to work on this week, obviously. But good, solid victory for us. You're not going to hear me complaining a lot about beating a good Penn State team, 24-6.
The miss from today's game was the very end. Ohio State has a player by the name of Mike Wargo. You won't find him in the media guide because he's not there. He wears number 70. In fact, that's him right there. He's a junior walk-on from Hudson, Ohio, who plays right guard for the Bucks, usually in practice. Now, Wargo has been compared to Rudy Rudiger, the Notre Dame player made famous by the recent movie Rudy. Well, Wargo, like Rudy, has overcome some obstacles to make the team. He's done it as a walk-on. He's never played it down at Ohio State, that is, until today. He came in, Coop sent him in with the final play. That's him with the clean uniform, number 70. Look at the players ready to greet him as he comes in, and he makes a pretty nice run, too. They run right behind him, and he blocks right through the Penn State defense for his only play as a Buckeye, at least so far. Oh, boy, don't look now, but the Wolverines actually have a losing record now in Big Ten play. That's right, losing record. Number 24, Michigan, at number 20. Football Weekly, Ohio State head football coach John Cooper.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's show. It should be a great show because it was a fantastic football game. The Buckeyes beating the Nittany Lions at Penn State 24-6. John Cooper with me, of course, and Coach, you made it look easy. You really did.
The credit goes to those football players, particularly the senior football players. I've been saying all year long, Mike, there's a lot of chemistry on this football team. Obviously, we've got some great athletes, great talent. They laid it on the line today, and I'm very, very proud of them.
Nittany Lions came in averaging 440 yards. You held them to 271. That's 169 yards under their average.
Well, defense actually shut them out. We held them without a touchdown. They got 2 field goals, but defense did a great job all day long. Raymond Harris just did a fantastic job running the football. Very, very proud of the football team.
28-17, I thought you'd win, but keeping them out of the end zone, that surprised you at all?
Well, absolutely. They've got an excellent offensive football team, Penn State does. So I think the credit goes to our defensive coaching staff and those defensive players that laid it on the line.
All right, the highlights. 24-6 final. The first half coming up right after this. Stay right where you are. We'll be back. Ingram only had 1 catch all day.
He's a fine football player. He has 8 touchdowns so far this year.
Walter really times this one beautifully.
This is the play I was thinking about. Walter Taylor comes breaking out of nowhere there, makes his second interception. And Walter had his best football game this week.
Eddie George in a tailback.
Yeah, big number 27, Eddie George running real hard. That's a 3rd down play. And I want our fans to notice here now, this is something that we really look forward to. This is number 70, Wargo, Mike Wargo in there. First time he's been in a football game. We want to get him in for one play. Does a fine job on the scout team. Ed Sidwell does a nice job on that scout team every week, and we just want to repay him, let him play. Now look at the fans coming on the field. Isn't that great?
Yeah, it was a nice sight. They were out there for probably 15, 20 minutes, huh?
Well, the fans and the band and all the other great supporters we have really is an inspiration to this football team.
You know, Coach, quickly, before we talk about the Wisconsin Badgers, it seems like the OSU marching band, the best damn band in the land, as they say, always has pretty good timing. They show up at practice once a year.
Dr. John Woods brings that band over once a year, every year. As a matter of fact, he'd come over more often if we let him, but they do a great job. They were over this week, did a great job getting our football team mentally ready to play.
Let's hope. After last week's victory over Penn State, Ohio State coaches named Pete Miller and Rick Hutzinger two of the most valuable players for the game. You ask, who are they? Well, as Jim Schroeder tells us, they are members of the scout team, the unsung heroes who help the team get ready for each week's game.
And whoever is still standing at the end, maybe we'll use smart scout teams. You'll be running the opposition's plays week in and week out.
Rudy is the true story of a kid who wanted to wear a Notre Dame uniform so bad he was willing to get beat up every day in practice just for the honor. Every major college program has a scout team. Who's on the scout team? Well, there are actually some scholarship athletes, redshirt freshmen, but mainly they're walk-ons. These are guys who weren't recruited, but they wanted to play football for Ohio State. This week, junior offensive lineman Pete Miller, number 58, is playing left tackle on the scout team, running Wisconsin's plays. Miller understands the Rudy story.
I can relate to it a little bit because I understand what he went through, just because it's mentally, there's a lot of you have to overcome, because you just don't come in and people, give you the shot right off the bat.
OSU's defensive coordinator Bill Young says the scout teamers make a big contribution to any success the team has.
The scout team is absolutely critical to us having a good game plan and being able to execute in practice and then perform in the ball game. If they don't do their job in practice, we will have a tough time playing the ball game.
There is no guarantee a scout team player will ever get in a game, but Pete's actually played in 3. And last week, the big moment came for junior Mike Wargo, number 70, the only guy with a clean uniform on the last play of the game.
Coach Cooper came over to me and goes, "Wargo, is it true you've never been in a game before?" And I go, "Yeah, it's true." And he goes, "Well, we're going to change that right now." And with the last play, he put me in the game, and we ran a basically smash mouth football, and I had about the best block I ever threw at Ohio State so far, and hopefully it'll lead to better things to come.
And some of the walk-ons who start on the scout team actually get noticed and earn a starting job and a scholarship. Last year's nose tackle Greg Smith is a good example. But for the most part, it is simply a chance to continue playing the game they love.
Rudy Rudiger, the real-life Rudy, will do a favor for a former Notre Dame assistant coach. Barry Alvarez was an assistant for the Irish for 3 years. He's invited Rudy to give the pregame pep talk prior to Saturday's Ohio State-Wisconsin game. This has been quite a year.
Come on. It's there. I know it's there. Where's it at?
It's rusty.
Stick us in your ear. Sports Line on 1460 WPNS.
I like that room.
Here comes Mike Wargo, number 70. He's on the field right now for Ohio State. And look at the players hugging him as he comes onto the field. What a moment in his career. And Jason Winrow is saying, hurry up, we want to run a play. Let Wargo in here. Here's the man, let's see. What a dream come true for Mike Wargo, number 70 out of Hudson, Ohio. He'll be lining up at the right guard position. You can tell he's the only guy with a clean uniform on the field. Look at that. Boy, you gotta wonder what's going through his mind right now. This should be the final play of the game. Just don't jump off sides. Flying over center, and the give goes to Eddie George. He goes forward. Look at Wargo in there, pushing forward. And look at the fans streaming out onto the field. This game is over. And there you heard it right there. And on the line with us here on Sportsline, our sports hotline, is Ohio State offensive lineman Mike Wargo. Mike, welcome to Sportsline.
Thank you very much.
Hey, how you feeling these days? You have to be pretty excited.
Pretty much up Cloud Mountain. I haven't really quite come down yet.
How many people have talked to you since Saturday's game, just telling you how happy they are for you?
Basically all my friends and family, some family I haven't talked to in a long time, they've given me calls, and it's just a great experience and a great thrill.
Mike, could you let the listeners know exactly what your role is as being a scout team member, what your responsibilities are as a Buckeye member? Well, our responsibilities are week to week. We simulate the offense of the opposing team. So, for instance, this week we're simulating Wisconsin's offense. And each offense has a different trick to it. But it's usually, most college offenses are basically the same, but each team has their own little thing.
Have you seen the movie Rudy yet?
No, I have not yet. I'm planning on going to see it.
Yeah. Well, basically, from what I understand, it's similar to your story, I guess. It's about a guy who wanted always just a chance to get in there and get a chance to play. And you know, has it been a lifelong dream of yours just to get one chance to go out there and you know, be a member of that team during the one play?
Yes, it has. Ever since I was a little kid and watching TV, major college football on TV, it's just always been a dream of mine to play Division I football, and that dream has always been with me through high school. And I remember after a Friday game, I'd go watch Penn State or Ohio State play on Saturday. Like, man, I just wish I was the next one day. And unfortunately, I didn't get recruited out of high school, and I came down to Ohio State just intending to be a student, but I missed football so much when I go to the games my freshman year that I just said I have to give this a try. I have to try out. And fortunately, I made it to what I'm doing today.
All right, Mike, if you would, walk us through maybe the final 30 seconds, first of all, with Coach Cooper trying to find you and then going out on the field. Just walk us through the whole thing.
Well, usually I'm more, the offense usually stands on the game, which is on the left side of the field of our bench, and I was just watching the game and everything, and then all of a sudden I hear everybody screaming, Oregon, points at me, so I go over there and take off my jacket and go on up there, and Coach Cooper goes, Oregon, you going in the game, and I just couldn't believe it. It was like, I dreamed about this moment for, you know, ever since I've been a Buckeye, and I just couldn't believe it, and I couldn't even get my chin strap. And Dan Romanoff, the equipment guy, helped me get my chin strap. I like to thank him for doing that, because I was so scared I couldn't even get it strapped, and when I made it out on that field, it was just, it seemed like practice, everything just came, you know, everything that practice, just skirmishes, everything just clicked, and I did what I had to do.
Were you kind of surprised that they ran in your direction?
Yes, I was surprised. They ran a play right off my hole, and I was really surprised, but I was glad they did, because I think it got a 5 or 6 yard gain, and I was really happy to replay that afterwards.
Hey, Mike, I talked to Terry a little bit about team functions and stuff. How'd you do your Mike Tyson impression, and how it's kind of a favorite of the players? I was wondering if maybe you could give the listeners a little dose of that Mike Tyson impression.
I'd be glad to, because something like this. Well, you see, as soon as I saw a guy, Michael States, I knew it was going to be a first-time knockout. I'm the best fighter in the world, and I'll defeat anyone. I'll defeat any man. I'm the best fighter in the world. I'll be out of prison pretty soon. I'll be back. I'll fight Riddick Bowe with friends off out of the ring, but in the ring I'm going to destroy him. Still the best. I'm training in prison. I'm the best fighter there is.
Beautiful. Unbelievable.
That is good.
I'm a little rusty, but I'm still working on it. Hopefully he'll make a comeback.
Kurt told me the players on the team just love that when you do it.
I had to do that for freshman skip a few years ago, and
kind of stuck with you.
I was kind of thinking of something. I didn't know. Nobody told me about the skip, and I was like, oh man, what am I going to do? So I'm like, well, I'm just going to try to Tyson thing, see how it goes over, and they finally liked it because they call me back every year when we skip.
Hey, Mike, before we let you go, we got a couple more things. We had a caller earlier tonight ask us about another walk-on player, Calvin Long. How's he progressing?
He's doing a really good job. He's on a scout team. He works hard every day, and he's a running back, but he plays different positions on the scout team wherever he's in. He's kind of an all-purpose guy, and he really works hard in there, and I think he's going to have a good future if he keeps working hard and sticking it out, which I think he will.
In closing, do you plan to come back next year? I guess you have another year.
Definitely, yes. Things are really coming, my dreams are coming true, I guess you could say. This week has just been an unbelievable experience for me last week, and especially Saturday night. I'll never forget that as long as I live, and hopefully I'll be able to play some more downs before my career's over here.
Well, Mike, we appreciate you coming on, and congratulations on that great opportunity for you.
Thank you very much, Kirk. I'm glad to be here.
All righty, Ohio State offensive lineman Mike Wargo, who got into the Penn State game in his first appearance as a Buckeye. Our guest on Sportsline. Stay with us. We'll be back with more.
That kid really didn't do a good job. What if I've been honest? You know, like he's not really good.
You can't do that.
Yeah, but I'm so glad I knew that.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. No, you never put somebody down.
Nah.
Is he
He just woke up. Oh, he'll open up.
Oh, I like this.
Grand Pops. There's Grand Pops. There's Grand Pops. There's Grand Pops. You just, how you doing, Uncle Russ?
Buddy, how you doing?
Oh, good. No, she's at her grandma's.
Hello.
Hey,
He's not sure. He just woke up. He's sleeping in the car.
Hey, Moms. Come here, see Mama. Come here and see Mama.
Erm.
Eric. Get there. I see you.
You guys having trouble finding your way home?
Come here, sweetheart.
Just wondering.
In pictures, he looks like
Your mom's bundled.
Grandma's. Sweetheart. She was like she did. She was a baby.
Yeah, he slept on the way over.
Tell me to sleep, Bob.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah. He'll get going once he gets waking up a little.
Look at him and Uncle Mike.
It seems you've waited for a century. The century. Standard driver airbag, and more.
Eric!
Ollie said he just had man, baby.
He's a tough kid, that kid.
Oh, yeah. Wargo.
You get OSU? Is Cable Man still out there? Yeah.
He just decided to visit.
It's a historic.
It must have been like parents' day at Ohio State when they came down. Was that then?
No. We'll talk about it after the tape.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Is that a TV truck?
Yeah.
Guess we just got there.
Let the rest out there with the Cable Man.
Is that why you called the guy, Dad? The channel that you wanted to
Yeah.
take review on? Well, you know what? When you get that, what does that station usually just show? Is it blank? Is it? It's just like, what tells you, like,
Coming attractions.
and stuff. So when that
Say,
fight
Kathy.
comes on, that might clear up.
Hey, Kathy. Hi. Michael.
That's why that guy's out there.
Shea started the season for Minnesota and was red hot early against
Eric. Come here, Eric. Eric. Come on. Eric. Eric.
Eric.
Eric.
Where'd he go?
Eric. I like that outfit.
Come here, honey.
Where's the one we got?
Oh, here.
That's what I'm hoping. He's 30. That one. I'm going to see him in the bus.
Do you want me to put it on him?
Yeah, just put the shirt on him so
Where
I
is
can
it,
get him.
Bobby? I'll put it on him. It's Buckeye suit. Keep an eye on him.
Right. Ollie. Uncle Russ. Bob. Mama. Where's Eric's shirt? Eric.
Buckeyes, Eric.
Get ready, they're coming on pretty soon.
And once again, here is the second shot at Fred Couples at 14 a moment ago.